hai la certezza che dopo ti trovi davanti a un grande film, a un capolavoro o a un film che farà tanti soldi. La certezza non c'è mai. E nello stesso tempo pensi, ma non è che magari in mezzo a tanti esordienti riusciamo anche a trovare i nuovi maestri, quelli che domani saranno i maestri, e c'è più possibilità, quindi è un tema molto combattuto. Di una cosa sono però certo: oggi sicuramente ai produttori o ai produttori esecutivi, tra i finanziamenti europei, i finanziamenti statali di ogni nazione, i finanziamenti delle regioni, delle Film Commission, è molto facile arrivare a un budget di 250, 300.000, 400.000, 500.000 euro per poter mettere insieme un film. E tutto il lavoro anche produttivo e anche quasi ideale sta nel mettere insieme questa somma di denaro per fare il film, con poca attenzione su quello che poi il film diventa e si realizza, quasi che il compito si esaurisce nel momento in cui è stato fatto il film. Questo è uno dei motivi per cui tanti di questi film non hanno nessuna possibilità di andare incontro a un pubblico, anche a promuoverli, perché comunque il risultato è perché ci si può mettere tanto marketing, tanto impegno. Io stesso con la mia sala posso promuovere un film piccolo, se però quel film mi ha convinto e mi dice qualcosa, se però io stesso mi rendo conto che purtroppo non è possibile perché il risultato è molto scadente e non c'è marketing che tenga. Quindi è una valutazione che tutti si devono porre sul fatto di come riuscire a costruire, e sono molto d'accordo sul fatto che Fellini non è diventato Fellini subito, sicuramente ha studiato molto, ha fatto molto lavoro, e così è per tutti i grandi registi. Io credo che questa facilità, aiutata anche dal fatto che per esempio in Italia le opere prime hanno un accesso molto privilegiato sul finanziamento pubblico, porta a tantissime opere prime, dirette anche da gente che magari non ha fatto quel percorso artistico che sicuramente sarebbe necessario che si fosse. Io credo che questo assolutamente è un problema che va posto sull'utilizzo e quindi dobbiamo essere anche convinti che non tutto magari deve andare in sala, o comunque ci sono altre forme e altre possibilità di via d'uscita. Questo è un po' il mio parere. Chiudo dicendo una cosa: qualche giorno fa, parlando al Almodovar, gli è stato chiesto: ma come mai un grande regista come lei non è mai andato, possibile che non ha avuto offerte dagli Stati Uniti per andare a Hollywood a fare dei film? E lui ha detto: ma certo che ho avuto le offerte per andare a Hollywood, il problema è che se vado a Hollywood forse non mi manca il coraggio, però sono sicuro che se vado lì ci sono almeno 15 persone sopra di me che decidono come deve essere fatto il film. E questo secondo me rimane la grande differenza tra il nostro cinema e il cinema che viviamo.
Grazie mille. Passerei la parola, ci sono 3 interventi dalla sala, adesso passerei la parola a Dieter.
Grazie. I just like to enlarge the debate a little bit. We're all together, cinema exhibitors, distributors, producers, film funds. We represent for the art cinema about 10, depending on the country where you live, between 10 to 25% of the audience. But we're talking about on a minority of culture. So when we face the problems in Europe, we see the situation that many countrysides have no cinema at all, have a slow internet where they can't download films, where there is no pharmacy, no bakery, where no doctor. So what can Europe do against this development when we face different countries, in fact, where there is a urbanization, where is much culture, where you have all, and on the other side, you live in the countryside, and many people in Europe live in small towns where you have nothing. And I think Europe must organize a debate on this, and we as art cinema has to contribute when we face a situation in many countries, actually in Europe, not only the Brexit, but all the countries, I won't name them, but you know what I'm talking about.
Cristina?
So I want to say something fun. So I don't know if there is too much money for production. I'm sure that there is not enough money for the Arthouse cinema. That's my personal vision. So because we are looking and we are working all together to have an increased budget for the next phase in Europe, I think that maybe it's not necessary to improve the money we give to the producers, but it's surely necessary to improve the money we give to the Arthouse cinemas. And Elisabetta Media Sala back. So I was just looking that the number of screens supported by Cineuropa cinemas are about 3,000. How many screens we have in Europe? 40,000. Of course, many of the screens are busy with Lion King. Okay, they are not interested in other. We understand it's not matter to give support to 40,000, but I'm sure that there is a long list of waiting list to get into a program. And you know that Cineuropa Cinemas is an individual major, is a program with about 10 million euro per year. So if you look to the others, am I wrong? No, it's about true. There is any other subject who has more money than this network we share. But this money is not enough. I understand that on the other side, the commission and the agency, when they say, well, 10 million euro to one subject there, may we give more? Yes, please do more for the young audiences, and in fact, Cineuropa Cinemas is doing a lot of things. But I'm looking, in the future, Lucía, we have to think about other initiatives. The network is good to have one network, but eventually we may have other initiatives, as for example the European Movies Days. So we may support other ways to support European movies through the Arthouse cinemas. And I'd like to come back when Christine said, well, to make to give to an Arthouse cinema the opportunity to do kindergarten activity for the great painters, thank you for the expression, and so on. This cinema, they need money. They can't just take the money from the box office. It's not enough, and who has to pay for this? In some case, we go back to the keynote. We may find this money through the regions or through the cities or through the social aspect. That's why this little word, be social, be innovative. Innovative means to find the money for changing the digital projectors in some public fund related to, for example, for Digital Europe. So we have to open the eyes and to look for money. But some money may come from other sources, but some money may come from the next media program as part of Creative Europe. When you speak about promotion, if we think that this promotion chain may be much more co-integrated, cooperative, in this sense probably the Arthouse cinemas may suggest an integrated program for promotion, starting from the trailers and arriving to the Arthouse cinemas. And there is maybe another way. I go back to the production. I'm back from the United States. Me too. When now I'm working a little bit about the startups in cultural and creative sectors. Eventually, we must discuss with the producer on a different way to support their movies with a pre-seed money, which is exactly related to the development, the pre-development, The seed money could be related to a kind of first step, and to give the real money only when the conditions are more ripe, when they may touch it. So we may do a lot of changes for the future, but not all of them are matter of European Union. Most of them are matter of national and regional authorities. Don't forget it, because it's still. And because I'm here, I steal some water.
Thank you very much. You are talking about Israeli Film Fund, which is the model that you are mentioning. I have one question there, and then I pass you the floor. Please present yourself.
Hi, I'm Marvin Lichert from York Kinogruppe in Berlin. There's going to be several topics that were touched earlier combined into one, and I hope I can all present them in an order that makes sense. So first of all, one main thing that I think was missing from discussion about streaming and changing habits is that those releases are all happening worldwide on the same day, and they generate a kind of buzz that, especially if you live on the internet, if you live on social media, transfer across borders. And it's because we have such a diverse media and cinema landscape, that's also our biggest hurdle, that we don't have enough cooperation between distributors across Europe that are releasing the same films, cinemas that are releasing the same films. And it's kind of a bit weird if you see how many initiatives we have that bring producers and the acquisition arms of distributors together at festivals, and you have films that are financed by 5 and 6 different companies all over from Europe and the world, distributors and producers alike. And then when those films had their big premiere, had the red carpet, they head back into the offices of those distributors, and every marketing team starts afresh. That's kind of bizarre, and that's how we end up with initiatives that don't have any fixed trailer. Because if there's a fixed trailer, you can count on it that it was the trailer that was made by the producers, that does not reflect on the actual needs of a trailer that has to be used on social media. And it brings me to a bit of a larger point, because I think we don't need just more money for marketing itself and bigger P&As and bigger media spendings. We need those as well, but we need more of a cultural change that facilitates young people who are getting into film marketing. Because while I don't want to compare to directing, crafting a strategy in this day and age that gets a movie on people's radars is a kind of an art itself. Making a trailer is a kind of an art itself. Making social media strategies is an art of itself. And we don't have bigger initiatives that bring people together to learn from another in that kind of area. And if we want to have young film critics and young marketers, we have to provide the culture to them to grow and facilitate an experiment like we do with filmmakers. That's my opinion.
The question about film education was on my to-do list, but of course we don't have time to touch all the problems. Thank you very much. I have just one before the final conclusion, because I think we have to close.
Yes, hello, my name is Carsten Schufert. I'm running a German post-production company. I'm deeply in the production market, and just a question, as you are all mainly saying the same thing, we have a lot of movies, maybe we have too many movies, they are not well developed, we have too little marketing budget, and as we all know that money can't be printed. My question for action, because in the end we all know the problems, my question would be for action. Wouldn't it be, although this may be a heretical thing, a good means to say, well, we have to change this way and take at least the money which is there and split it up for less productions, but with better marketing budgets, because in the end you're all sitting in institutions which are close to fundings and so on. Why wouldn't we go for another strategy to just reduce? You said the US has 800 movies, 600 movies per year, we have 1,600. Although I see all the things that new talents have to grow and so on, but if the movie, you said it all, is not reaching the audience, it's just burnt for everybody. Why wouldn't we change the strategy as long as we don't have more money? Because it's also going back to the people becoming educated in film schools, more directors coming, everybody wants to be a director, nobody wants to be a technician. So why wouldn't you change the strategy?
Because of the regional funds.
Then maybe we have to ask the question, do we have to change the strategy in regional fundings? Because we're all seeing that where the problem is, and we're just talking about it, but nothing is happening, to be frank.
I think, I don't know if you were here during the first part of the panel, but it was the question that I asked our panelists about number of movies and if we had to reduce. So,
my question is, why would the institutions force more to go there? Because,
so it's what kind of advice, maybe very shortly, the national institution should be, maybe 1 minute per 1 or 2 minutes.
To the national institutions.
Which kind of policy?
Focusing on this to the national institutions, definitely they have to put money into promotion and education. This is in the summary of our subject actually for all the international strategy of Arthouse cinema. This is education and promotion. But as I'm saying, promotion, not just this inertia of the distributors which are doing posters, trailer, and we're complaining that there are no film critics. That's true, but they're developing now, they're bloggers, but they're kind of different entity. They're somewhere over there, we don't know them, so we don't use them properly. So that's why I'm saying it's about creativity, to see what is outside and to see how we can collaborate with the outside. But as Cristina mentioned, the example of the Polish New Horizon Cinema, they distributors and cinema, and they have this Arthouse multiplex. But let's see what it is in Poland. They have a program for education, so they're working with the teachers, they're working with the schools. That's why France and Poland are a great exception. So if we have this in the other countries, like really to push the national institutions for the education in school, for the education of the teachers, because the teachers are the first one to meet in the schools that can be proactive. So it will definitely bring changes, big changes. It's a language, cinema is a language, like literature, you have to study it. So I think we are missing a lot of audience out there. And when I'm talking about strategy, I don't mean the audience that we already have. We have it. Like for the festival, you know that this audience, it will be there before you even announce the program. I'm talking about all the young audience. Absolutely, all this audience which is not coming to the cinema. How to attract them. So this is where we have to be clever and to collaborate with other creative agencies, marketing experts, but really kind of to create it on a bigger level, European, kind of a lab, which can come with interesting promotion ideas and maybe training experts in film marketing, which can be spread in Europe.
Conclusion word?
She did such a well plaidoyer, so there is nothing to add. So I'm also, of course, film history has to be studied. It must be on the agenda of every educational program in school.
From my side, again, it's an imbalance in the public funding of films. No Hollywood studio would produce a film without putting money into marketing, and we do it. So it's a question, how do we invest the money? But also, what you said, it's about film education, it's about cultural relevance, and for this reason, to me, it's kind of very important next to film education would be the professionalization. What we are doing here, you can study everything, but maybe, or at least maybe in France, even being an exhibitor, but in most other countries not, and also not being an art house distributor. We all making mistakes again and again, and that's not clever. So I underline also what Marvin said. We need to get a higher level. We will be fragmented. It's also kind of a quality. Our fragmented strategy, it's kind of a chance also an opportunity. But, and that's maybe at the end, we have to see the cinema is more than just a platform for watching a movie. It's a heart chamber. I guess we agree it's a cultural spot, but it is this heart chamber for a movie, for its social relevance, but also to refine it. But the just words, and I guess here all agree, if we see cinema as an entity, I like someone told before, cinema must be an entity, but then it pays back for the society and for the movies. And at the end of the day, I'm kind of also optimistic about our future, because I guess we need this community-based, mission-driven cinemas and cultural spaces in future, maybe in future even more than today.
So we would like the media program at European level to drive change and inspire member states in regional authorities in those changes. For example, distribution. It took us a couple of years to find an agreement with sales agents and distributors now they have to come up with joint up distribution strategies. And the main criterion for selection of the films is going to be the quality of the distribution strategy. And they need to show a promotion strategy. This is the first time we have launched this type of co-op, but we think that this could have a structuring effect in the way the films and the films we support under selective are those most that are awarded in Cannes, in Berlin, in Venice. So we think that by bringing this change, we could perhaps instill a more structuring changes in the future. I would like to say that for the first time this year, media is going to support the European Art Cinema Day, and we are very proud to be contributing to the success of the best promotion of European cinema with CICAE. And I would like also to say that last year we managed to get 2 additional million euros for Europa Cinemas Network, so 10 plus 2 million, so it's an increase of 20%, because we demonstrated to Council and Parliament the intrinsic value of the cinemas beyond the circulation of European movies, but also in terms of community building. And if we manage to consolidate this increase, our objective will be to expand the cinema network, Europa Cinema, in small cities and in countries where almost the cinema is the only cultural hub in the city. I'm also the person responsible for this pilot project from Cinema as Innovation Hubs, and I'm very glad to see the level of enthusiasm on that this has raised, and look forward to the proposal you might be sending to us.
I will say with my motto, it's a story. For me, everything starts from the story, and a good story which is told to everyone. And so, because it's something indeed parts in France and even in France, something which is important, I think you were speaking about education, which is of course a key element in everything, but also the education of the producers. And I think we don't have enough good training programs for the producers. And especially, I know, because most of the structure of those trainings are focusing on financing. Money, money, money. The problem is that before raising the money, you have to have something which is valuable. And I think they should more invest into the storytelling and how a producer should be able to read a story, and so to help his director to go, and the screenwriter to go in the right direction. Because most of the time, having been producing films and selling a lot of films, I have met a lot of couple producers, directors, who are not at all looking in the same direction. So this is, I would say, what I say. It's really a producer.
L'ultima parola, commento, aspetta.
Sono totalmente d'accordo con Pascal DIOT. Mi è capitato molte volte di andare a fare degli incontri con dei produttori, aspiranti produttori, ed ero assolutamente stupito dalla loro non conoscenza di qualsiasi cosa che riguardasse il dopo che l'avevano fatto questo film, cioè proprio all'oscuro di tutto, e questo è uno dei motivi per cui poi alla fine arrivano senza neanche un trailer, senza neanche una affiche, senza neanche un contatto con una sala cinematografica che possa, ma che dall'oggi al domani decidono che devono uscire con questo film e poi non trovano niente. Quindi sicuramente c'è questo problema, quindi una bella scuola di formazione, e io credo che questo è il modo. Noi come CICAE abbiamo fatto un lavoro incredibile, credo, in questi anni, perché ci siamo resi conto che era necessaria una scuola di formazione degli esercenti, perché una volta fare l'esercente era molto facile, andavi in un luogo, tiravi su, aprivi una porta e c'era della gente che arrivava dentro indipendentemente quasi da quello che potevi fare. Oggi è un lavoro completamente diverso, e quindi è giusto fare un lavoro come quello che si sta facendo qui a San Sebastián per far sì che i nuovi esercenti siano responsabili e capiscano tutte le difficoltà e che cosa mettere in campo per fare questo lavoro oggi che è ancora possibile fare. Diceva giustamente Cristina che 3.200 schermi di Europa Cinema sono ancora pochi rispetto ai 40.000 schermi in tutta Europa, e sappiamo quanto è importante che ci sia una rete che abbia come scopo la programmazione del cinema europeo. Quindi io sono abbastanza fiducioso sul futuro. Se andiamo a fare questi aggiustamenti e se i festival considerano un po' di più, capisco la necessità di mettere insieme tanti programmi, tante cose, però di avere ancora come sguardo importante sulla possibilità che questi film che passano nei festival e i film più importanti siano destinati per le sale, perché questo è per noi un altro elemento molto importante per il futuro.
Thank you so much for the speakers. I think it's been really, really interesting. Thank you. Then we can just join the cocktail and you have an announcement about the cocktail, please.
I have one small announcement. We will do a group photo before we exit this space in the back behind the translator's cabin. And afterwards for the cocktail, when you leave the space, go to the left in the garden. That's where you're all welcome to celebrate with our presence at Venice Production Bridge. Thank you very much for being here with us.